Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick. And now, narrating of Tests and Trials, Part 1, Jimmy and J.R. "4:30 a.m. Eastern. In the front lounge, Jim and Betsy talk briefly. So, Betsy, today you connecting with one of the ladies' teas? Jim said. Don't have time for the Washington ladies' teas this morning, Jim. Mama has an appointment with the oncologist at 6, and I have to be right by the phone, Betsy said, with a frozen tongue turned toward her husband. Jim goes upstairs in the mansion library, wondering what he did wrong. His wife's sudden chilly tone made him think that perhaps his marriage had gone cold. He was considering asking Claude to come see him for a few days. 6 a.m. Central. Looking up, I found myself waking up in the public affairs library. Jennifer Bowers rushing to my side. J.R. Hendrick, wake up! Why did you fall asleep here? Jennifer asked. I didn't want to go to sleep in my dorm, with last night being Charlie's Nation's couch potato night. Gerald said, damn, I'm due at the lab for some blood tests. I'll take you there. And in between economics and media theories, we need to study this conglomerate in mass media. She helps me get myself together, and we walk towards her car, away from the Center for Public Affairs. She tells me she has some blueberry muffins for me. And I'm thinking to myself, everything she does just brightens my day. As I look longfully at the blueberry muffins and the Dr. Pepper she'd have for me. 6:15 a.m. Central. Midland, Texas, offices of Dr. Randy Theodore, oncologist. The blood test shows there may be an increase in white blood cells itself, just like the last time, Dr. Theodore said. Now, I've gone through this last week through my hematologist, and he says it might not even appear to be for the spread of cancer. Elizabeth stood up in her chair. Don't make me feel like a damn hypochondriac, Elizabeth said. You said there was a possibility. I know, Elizabeth. But it may be a symptom of some other disorder that I can't diagnose. Cancer hasn't spread to any other organs in your body. Then, Randy, why the hell do I feel so weak? Miss Elizabeth, I am not going to change from chemo to radiation with the test you already have. What about testing the T cells? You said you'd check that periodically after the mastectomy. Lauren will take you downstairs to the lab to do a T cell count. That's the best we can do. Show up for chemotherapy tomorrow, and I'll call you as soon as I get the results, Dr. Theodore said. 8:45 a.m. Eastern. Meanwhile, at Cornerstone Christian School, Christine and Forever go to their lockers getting ready for class. And this email said that Sarge's parents were going to be talking to Uncle Jim to see if he can come with us for the balance of the year, Forever said. You deserve that. Me, Christine said. I'm not meant to find love here in Washington, D.C. 12 p.m. Central. As her husband is having a long lunch and golf date with Talk's radio host, Sam Lindberger, Betsy is having a chicken lo mein with Amy Kathleen. What does Grandma have to say? What does Grandma have to do? Amy Kathleen said. She reports for her chemo in the morning, Betsy said. This isn't so bad. I'm not telling your Uncle Jim. And Betsy, why not? He looks more handsome as he gets older. I could tell he's getting kind of bored with our marriage. Something like this could push him to find love with another woman. For the life of me, I can't tell him. Your grandma may be dying of cancer. He could turn away from me. No, ma'am. Aunt Betsy, he won't. 2 years ago, Grandma sent us pictures and videos of what it's like with Uncle Jim. Jim was at the ranch. And without you, he was like a lost puppy dog. He trusts you. Lean on that trust. You're right, Amy Kathleen. I have to tell him tonight, after dinner. 12 p.m. Central. Leaving mass media theory class, I was shocked. My cell phone rang. And it was family friend Mike Fields. Sorry guys, having some technical difficulties here. Have you lost your damn mind? Michael, could you just tell me what the hell's going on? But you got suspended from the swim team. Yeah, I'm like, I had to do what I had to do. But defending a girl's honor, maybe I can understand. You ever thought maybe what your family's going through? They got a lot on their lap right now. Mike, would you please just tell me what the hell's going on? Look, your mom and dad, I don't think they get along very well right right now, and your grandma's not feeling well. Oh dear, I'm sorry I said anything. I'll be glad to take you to the doctor. Alright. Mike. I'll take you too. p.m. Central. Hey man, let's go, I said, getting into Dave's car. Dave, good to spend some time with you. I heard about what happened at the swim meet. That stupid coach. How dare he suspend you? How dare I select Charlie Nation as a sweet mate and a friend? Yeah, we're selecting prep school friends. It's kind of old, especially your junior and senior year in college. I'm sorry to say that. Dave took us to Kentucky Bell for lunch. 12:30 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, at Kentucky Bell, man, I was such an idiot fool. My belly hurts. Man, remember last night? It's your overeating that gets you sick every time. I'm not sick. It's just gassy. Man, I'm watching in case your doctor has to send you to Phoenix in a few months. I wish he wouldn't, but he probably will. Last time they sent me to Phoenix 4 years ago was because I had a strep throat and an athlete's foot. Man, did you have to remind me? I have to be the doctor's today. Relax. Next Friday, you'll be back at Kentucky Bell with me in no time. 12:55 p.m. Central. In Dave's car, I let out in sadness, and I said, "This is Dave Smith." Damn, seems like my parents are in trouble again. And Grandma's sick again. My family just can't stop being dysfunctional. Man, no offense, but your family has been broken and flawed for as long as I've known you, Dave said. There's something they're not telling me. And maybe something I don't want to know. 2 p.m. Eastern. In the Hendrick Mansion, Washington, D.C., Jim is meeting with his dream team and Carol Stringer to look at her press conference for Thursday. One of the words was public policy. Look, I'm just going my comments and I'm going to go catch Becky, Claude said. Now, Bill Mayer is a fool for putting in public affairs and policies as synonyms. No, they're not the same damn thing. They can just ask JR. Well, then just change it to government law or public law. Clinton can't say a thing about it, David Rosenberg said. That's all good. But I think we need to consult David Galworthy, JR's professor, about this, considering the economic care package. We don't have time to do the dance with consultants unless we do it today, Chris Culver said. All right then, Cowboy Chris. There are some business headsets and telephones on the table. You'll make some phone calls that you can see what's going on, Jim said. 2:15 p.m. Central. At the Texas Tech Health Science Center, JR meets with Dr. Demetrius Nelson. Lab test shows that your thyroid is fine. Now your cortisol levels, that's an issue. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Maybe send you to the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix this January, Dr. Nelson said. Might ought to check for anemia. Thought that was settled. This is a safeguard, Dr. Nelson said. To be sure. Sure is good precautions. Or does precautions mean something anymore these days? I think I should be in touch with my uncle or father. Sure. But I'm going to go through these tests. Go on Thursday morning. More tests. And I will call you with results. You've also been talking about the testosterone levels that the doctor in D.C. says. But I can't trust those unless we have further tests ourselves. 3:25 p.m. Central. So once again, I'm taken to the lab in the doctor's office. Tablet drawn again. Next, the doctor did not talk to my father. I was beginning to question his wisdom. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. In Washington, D.C., Jim is feeling mysterious about the exchange he had with Mike Fields and his oldest son. Cursing him out, he hangs up the phone and reaches for a cigarette. 4:10 p.m. Central. JR is in debate practice at the School of Mass Communications. JR was given the topic of defending tax cuts for small business. It was to be a home debate competition Saturday morning, September 7th against UT Austin. 6:10 p.m. Eastern. The Hendrick family is having dinner with aerospace king and talk radio host Sam Wimberger and his wife. Dinner is dark meat chicken with rice, bourbon to drink for adults, soda for the kids, and dark chocolate souffle for dinner. 6 p.m. Central. At the Holy Spirit Club, JR is having dinner with Brent Clark. With a sermon preached by Bishop Clyde Danders. Look, man, I'm sorry, Brent said. Yesterday I was condescending. I was name dropper. Until I went over to Cinnabon Student Union and saw Charlie Nation trying to hook up with a girl. And all the girls were turning him down. You're forgiven, for once. But I'm starting to feel less guilty about what I did Friday. 8 p.m. Eastern. In the upstairs Dream Team VIP lounge in Washington, D.C., Betsy couldn't help but notice her husband standing over a glass of bourbon for quite some time. Think you stood over that drink long enough? Betsy said, sitting down. Yeah, I think you're right, Jim said, walking over to sit beside her. You know, Betsy, me and you've been married long enough that we can kind of pick up from each other that something's wrong. I want to talk to you, Jim. I can see it all over your face, and I can see it in your eyes. Yeah. Betsy, I picked this up from you. Jim, we're far away from being schoolgirls and schoolboys, keeping secrets from each other. Won't you just sit down, put your drink down, just say what's on your mind? You think you're fit enough to receive this? Don't talk to me like we've only been married for 12 years, Betsy. I'm just wondering if after all these years, you're ready for me to give you some candor. Betsy, you ain't being fair. You're playing with me. Betsy gets up. Look, just forget it. I thought we could be frank with each other. From upstairs. From downstairs. You can hear a distinct bellow from Jim. That's your game. And all you had to do is tell the truth. If it's your mama, go to her. Betsy, go to her. Downstairs in the Northeast Lounge, the kids talk. What is this all about? Bobby asked. Yeah, what are they saying? Christine asked. I haven't seen Aunt Betsy this angry before, Forever said. Okay, that's it, Christine said. I'm calling Lubbock. Somehow, JR may know. "8:30 p.m. Eastern. Christine walks in to find her father in the front lounge. Is there anything I can do, Daddy? Christine said. No, not a damn thing, Jim said. Obviously getting besotted. 8:35 p.m. Eastern. Christine walks into the bedroom to find Amy Kathleen there. Aunt Betsy's still in the room? Yeah. Dad's being a dork downstairs in the front lounge. Drinking liquor like there's no tomorrow. Christine, I feel so responsible. Amy, sweetheart, you wouldn't be the reason why Mom and Dad fight like that. There's something I believe Aunt Betsy wouldn't tell your dad. Has something to do with the fact that our grandma's cancer may be getting worse. We'll find out at the doctor. Dr. Theodore said continue the chemo until they find out otherwise. No, Amy Kathleen. This has something to do with Dad being such a dork lately. $8 p.m. Central. Bewildered by a phone call I received from Christine that Mama and Daddy had a big fight, I stepped into my room. And who should greet me but Charlie Nation? I'm sorry I was trying to fall in love with a girl. I know how that must be, Charlie said. Don't worry. There's a cute number in Cinnabon that I'm interested in. September 13th. At 1:15 a.m. Eastern. Jim is up in the movie theater of the mansion, obviously still wounded from last night's quarrel with Betsy. It had been their first argument in months. He knew she probably booked a charter airline that could take her from Washington, D.C. to Midland to be with her mother. And she knew. And who knew when she was going to be coming back? Because of complicated matters with her marriage and her mother. 5:45 a.m. Eastern. The charter airline carrying Betsy, as well as Katie Carter, departed from Washington, D.C., bound for Midland, Texas. Katie will take the 11:05 American Airlines flight into Dallas. 6:15 a.m. Central. I'm making my bed. I noticed that the weather was going to be beautiful today. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and make tracks. Do some treadmill over at the Sibley. 5:45 8. Okay, that was at 5:15 a.m. Central. 5:45 a.m. Central. Back from the Sibley. I returned to the dorm room to begin reading some of the Sermon on the Mount in the King James Bible. I would receive another King James Bible at some point today by the missionaries of the Assemblies of Christ, a restorationist Christian movement that began in 1833 in Rosslyn, Virginia. It was a group of Baptists and Episcopal ministers who theorized that the gospel needed some serious restorationist reform. I began taking my thyroid and my Nutrivive vitamins that I get compliments of Daddy. High protein, high fish oil, high octane vitamins, hand-picked by my daddy and shipped to my dorm. 5:55 a.m. Central. It was good that Kevin McDonald was having some physical therapy through his sports trainer. So I had a chance to sit down at my IBM ThinkPad to type out my fact sheet that was due today. 7:30 a.m. Central. Chocolate chip muffins seemed to ease the pain as I was having breakfast at the Platter with Kevin McDonald. Chocolate chip. You'll wreck your health, Kevin said. Look, calmly ignore Charlie. He's just gonna miff you again. Make sure I think we're going in the same direction. And they're really telling how I feel. It's a bad combination. You'll get yourself hurt. Let me be the judge of that. When I turned 18, my daddy taught me how to stand up for myself if I have to. 9 a.m. Eastern. Jim exits the 5th floor hallway of the Small Business Administration in Washington, D.C. after being lambasted by Bill Mayer and Erskine Bowles. His psyche is damaged by said meeting, and he is bound and determined to shape up some changes within the staff of the Small Business Administration that work directly with him. 9 a.m. Central. I was changing to get ready to go to class, to school, and all of a sudden, Charlie walked in, meddling. Your dad is such a megalomaniac. He doesn't seem to care about what's going on with your mom, Charlie said, as I looked towards Adam Plummer. Damn, my favorite tie got a stain on it. He's so unsympathetic that anybody can go and look at you would notice, Charlie said. Just stay out of this, I said. They're looking back, but they'll get back together like they used to. You might know what's going on. Stay out of this, buddy. Come on. A mute fool could tell how Christine sounded upset last night on the phone to you. You should be more animated about seeing your professors during office hours. I just wish you'd motivate yourself to find out what the hell's going on. I mean, think about it. Your parents could be splitting up. And there's a settlement regarding Swainfield and the Hendrick Empire. And you don't give a damn about both. Can you shut your mouth? I said. You keep getting it twisted. That Mom and Dad are going to get a divorce and have a proper settlement. Just remember, you are in this particular suite because you please Mom and Dad. Maybe Mom and Dad may not want you around. Now, Ace, while I'm in class, why don't you go up to the store with my trust fund card and get a couple of dozen of these things. 9:10 a.m. Central. Walking out of the dorm, it was clear to see that Charlie was heading towards Holden Hall, but to catch the bus shuttle to go to the student union. Miss Laham, let's go to class, Ted McDonald said. 9:20 a.m. Back at the ranch, Betsy learns from Thomas that her mother is in chemotherapy. So she and Fern sit down in the living room to watch TV and wait for Elizabeth to come home. 9:30 a.m. In public affairs class, Friedrich McKay is delivering the lecture about media bias, because Dr. Harmon has to present a paper in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the Kennedy School of Government. 1 p.m. Central. At 11:30, I had a half-hour swim in the pool, and then took a bus back to the Sneed Snack Bar. The day Smith, who was helping Brent Clark begin his campaign for the Student Association. But who should run into me as I sat down with my cheeseburger special and Dr. Pepper but Karen Crowder. Hello? My, it's been such a long time. It has. It's been 3 months or more. May I sit down? Karen said, taking a meatball special. How's your parents and family? Like a house on fire up in D.C. Ma'am, look like Charlie with one of the sorority girls, Maya. Just flow with it. He's pretending to be a cute furry animal. Under the manhood, Karen shows a picture that she got through a friend of Brad, who was at the swim meet, of Jared defending Jennifer Bauer's honor. Confidently, she admits that she's lonely and wants to try to bring back the friendship that they used to have. Well, are you still studying public affairs? Karen said. Yes, I am. Guess I'm considering law school next. Well, do you still go to those crazy NFB meetings? Yeah, I do, but Jim Bob makes me feel uncomfortable canceling them. Sometimes it's been a long, long time. Under the manhood. Notice that Karen is trying to engage JR, bringing back some of the confidence that they used to have together. JR Hendrick doesn't mind being with her. In fact, at this point, he was fond and amused by Karen's interest in him. It's clear that the relationship has always been non-sexual, which is hugs and friendly words. And that's why for over 8 months, he has let her alone, letting their relationship idle until they're both interested. Well, I gotta go. It's just been nice to see you, Karen said. I told Brad I would meet him at the movies at 3. By the way, tell him I said hello. We can try to get together sometime, maybe. 1:30 p.m. Central. As JR packs up his Old Testament literature book to go to class, he learns from Dave Smith that he was beginning to launch Brent Clark's campaign for Student Government Association. Hitting up with Brent at the Holy Spirit Club, and Brent said all systems will go, which made JR very happy. 3 p.m. Eastern. Christine comes home from school with tears on her face. She called Betsy, concerned about her parents' relationship, and got the irate Mama Bear treatment. Amy Kathleen promised her that she would call her father the next day. 5 p.m. Eastern. Sensing that Jim is mourning the state of his marriage and the fact that Claude had gone back to Midland with Becky, Cowboy Joe McDonald organized a party of men in his condo. Beer and bourbon was flowing like mud, along with a nice stag dinner. Christine and Bobby had gone out to eat with Monica and her family. Amy Kathleen and Elizabeth Marie went out with a friend named Mavis. And Forever went out with another friend named Mike. So they left Jim alone in the mansion for the evening, except for a few men who agreed to stand by his side. Blake Carter would be joining them soon. 5:35 p.m. Central. I had gotten a call from Mama saying that Grandma's cancer had taken a slight turn for the worse, and that she was going for a couple of days of radiation therapy in New Orleans. Same thing I miss. I was having dinner with Kevin McDonald, and I joined Kevin McDonald and Larry Thurber, and they took me to College Republicans dinner with Mr. Geddes. Trish Marcus, a senior and member of the Holy Spirit Club, saw me, and she showed me she'd have missionaries contact me from the Assemblies of Christ to minister to me and Charlie. I later found out she had a crush on Charlie. September 14th, 2 a.m. Arriving in New Orleans, Jim and his entourage board a stretch limo to take them to the Jefferson Casino Hotel in New Orleans, near Tulane University, where Jim's meeting would take place tomorrow. Present in the car were Jim, David Rosenberg, Grace Arthur, and Texas real estate mogul turned political consultant Avery Carrington. 2:40 a.m. Betsy and Elizabeth wake up around the same time. Betsy had been crying, and Elizabeth had some stomach pain. Don't you be so nasty tempered. Your daddy used to be that way. And it aggravated the fire out of me, Elizabeth said. I can't help it, Mama. You might die of cancer. I ain't dead yet, Elizabeth said, interrupting her. I decided when to give up, honey. And I'm not ready yet. Now you be strong. You're angry at Jim. I get that. But your daddy used to say, when J.R. was little, sometimes you get to lie in that bed you make. He's annoying me, Betsy said. I can't even be honest with him. I can't stand it neither. But hush, he's your husband. And he's bound to find out one way or another, Betsy. Now we're going to New Orleans. And I need you to be strong. 6:30 a.m. Central. J.R. is at the Holy Spirit Club having breakfast with Sterling Rosen. Hey man, your grandma is going to be okay. I'll make sure that we pray for her during evening devotional, Stoney said. In the meantime, I hear you're studying public affairs. That's my minor. You better keep an eye out to go see Bruce Kinghorn. All the kids call him Dr. Policy. Conservative or liberal? He will engage with the best of them. 7:30 a.m. Central. J.R. goes to the office of Dr. Bruce Kinghorn to discuss his goals. Dr. Kinghorn tells him that he's heard from Dr. Harmon that last year, dear J.R. was trying to get free from his ruthless father, who just wanted him to be the family business advocate. Kinghorn asked if he just wants to be advocate for family causes. Upfront and honest. Unlike his father, J.R. says he wants to be an advocate, but not for his family's sake. When J.R. asks for some Dr. Pepper out of Kinghorn's fridge, the professor noticed that J.R. asked differently compared to all his other students. This opens up the door where J.R. talks about his love interest with Jennifer Bowers. Kinghorn probes further, saying that he heard from last year from Dr. Harmon that J.R. had ran into the arms of Karen Kreider in order to avoid the ruthless personality development by his father. Inviting him to a lecture at noon, Kinghorn suggests that J.R. focusing on focusing on the goals he wants. I'm sorry. I've been so turned around, I don't even know what I want. Under the manhood. Interview, I think at that point, 15 years later. Daddy had already died. I had to form my own empowerment and public affairs company. Madly in love with my girl, Sarah. Living in a nice condo with a Mercedes. And I'd be working alongside the political powers that be in Washington, D.C. and Austin. 10 a.m. Central. I was just leaving Holden Hall, and getting ready to catch the bus when Dave Smith stopped me. "Hey, J.R., hold up," Dave Smith said. "What do you want, Dave?" "Look, I met with Brent Clark this morning in the MassCom building. He's ready to run for Student Government Association. All we need is a campaign manager. Please, Jared." "I don't have the time," I said, catching the bus. "Get someone else." 11:30 a.m. Central. Betsy and Elizabeth have arrived at the cancer hospital in the second floor clinic when Betsy spots her brother Tom. "Who in the world talked?" Betsy asked Billy. "I told Tom by myself," Elizabeth said. "Hold up, Betsy. If you're probably going to go back there with me, you can't be soft." 12 p.m. A throng of young college students stormed into the Center for Public Affairs and go downstairs to the auditorium where communications, public affairs, and political science students would go see an occasional semester lecture by a university faculty tutor. But this time, it was different. Under the guidance of Dr. Bruce Kinghorn, known hereafter as Dr. Policy. In the past, sermons on the Mount regarding public relations and politics given by Dr. Pilsner have been to inform unless another faculty member stepped in to talk in depth about a certain issue in public affairs, in political science, students. But today, in this lecture regarding public affairs and policy, I'm going to teach you how to think for yourselves. JR is sitting with Brent Clark and Stoney Rosen and Dave Smith. JR and Stoney were spellbound by this man, who would be the director of the Center for Public Affairs for over 25 years. There was to be no more spoon-feeding information, but yet an inquiry of public affairs students to seek answers for themselves. 1 p.m. Not long after Kinghorn's lecture was over, Jennifer Bowers met me outside the Center for Public Affairs with a couple of peanut butter sandwiches and a huge bottle of grape juice to take to the fountain. "You must be going through a lot," Jennifer said. "Not too bad. Let's go to the fountain and talk." 1:30 p.m. In New Orleans, Dr. Theodore introduces Elizabeth and Betsy to a radiation oncologist named Dr. Noah Haynes. Haynes informed the two that he was to begin modified radical radiation, which would go through the lymph nodes of the body where the cancer was spread, but with minimal effects. "This is hard," Betsy said. "Let's just sign the damn papers and get this over with," Elizabeth said. Betsy and Elizabeth signed the papers, and the doctors left. With that, Betsy turns her back to her mother and cries. "Oh, I wish he wouldn't do that. There's still a chance," Elizabeth said. 2 p.m. At the fountain, JR and Jennifer are having a romantic lunch. "I like to play the field, JR. But if you ever want me, I will drop the field and come run with you," Jennifer said. "Who said something about that?" "It is not said in the stuff that we're saying. It's in the stuff that I'm seeing. I'm here for you, JR, if you want me. 2:05 p.m. Through gentle nudges by Tom and Amy Kathleen, Jim makes his way to holding room 322, where he bumps into Betsy and Elizabeth. "Damn, Betsy. I'm so sorry," Jim said. "My brother's convinced this radiation might work." "Well, Christine told me that the cancer might spread further," Jim said. "Couldn't you have told me a couple of days ago? I would have understood." A nurse walks in. "Sorry, folks. We got to prepare Mrs. Swain for radiation now." They go out into the hallway, and Betsy shot Jim a kind look. "Jim, it's bad between you and me right now. For the sake of what's going on with Mama, please give me some alone time." 2:25 p.m. I just got back to the dorm when the news came about Grandma that she was having to go through 5 weeks of radiation. Daddy was nervous as hell, but I told him to go to the cafeteria or to his hotel and get some milk and cookies, something which he said over the years had always calmed him down. Before leaving for the hotel, Tom stopped Jim to apologize for everything that happened. Dr. Haynes was going to be transferring Elizabeth with 2 days at the oncology center in Dallas, and Tom would be taking over her care there for the next 5 weeks. Admitting that he was angry to hear from his mother and Amy Kathleen instead of Betsy about what was going on. We hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying, get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to get more interesting from here.